When graphing a cosecant function, it's usually appropriate to graph one period. This means that you first need to find the period of the function and find 3 consecutive vertical asymptotes. Then draw the curve that represents cosecant. So we're going to graph this first cosecant function, and we're only going to go one period. And that equation is y equals 1/2 cosecant x. So this is in the form of y equals a cosecant kx. In this case, k is equal to 1, the number immediately in front of x. So when trying to find the period is found by doing 2 pi over k. And since k is 1, the period is just 2 pi. Now for cosecant, we need to find some vertical asymptotes. And you can do that by finding the interval that we're going to graph. In this case, the interval is from 0 to 2 pi over k. And since we know what k is, the interval is going to be 0 to 2 pi. Now, these two values happen to be vertical asymptotes. But like I said, we need 3. And the nice thing to know is that the vertical asymptote, a third one to be found between these two, is right in the middle. So we can have a vertical asymptote of 0, of 2 pi, and x equals pi. So we have 3 vertical asymptotes. So now we can go in and graph. And so we have at 0, just run it through the y-axis. Then at pi, another vertical asymptote, and then at 2 pi. And since our a value is 1/2, that means this graph is only going to go up as high as, or as low as a half, and as high as negative a half. So right here, this is as high as it's going to go, and so cosecant starts up, goes down, and then comes back up. This little u here. So right here, and it's going to be right here along the x-axis at pi over 2. So this graph is going to come down and then come back up, like so. And then it's going to do the same thing over here, except it's going to come up, then back down, right here at negative a half. And that negative half is right here on the x-axis, 3 pi over 2. And so this is going to come up, intersect that point, and then come down like so. So this would be the graph of this cosecant equation. Now we're going to do it again for this one, except this one is shifted. Y equals 2 cosecant of pi x minus pi over 3. So this is close to what we want, but not quite exactly what we want. We need it to be in this form of y equals a cosecant of k times the quantity x minus b. And so in this case, it's not in this form. So what we do is we need to get x to be by itself with a coefficient of 1. So I'm going to factor out a pi from this whole thing. So y equals, sorry, not 2. You're reading what's above it. 2, there we go, cosecant of pi x minus 1/3. So now we have our properly written function that's shifted. And so now I'm going to pick out what I need. First off is I'm going to pick out k, and k is going to be the number up front, and that is pi. A little bit odd, but we go with it. And now I'm going to find the period. And the period is 2 pi over k. And since it's pi, it's going to be 2 pi over pi, which means a period of just 2. Again, all well and good. But now we need to find the vertical asymptotes, and we can find that by looking at the interval. Now the interval is supposed to be from 0 to 2 pi over k. But in this case, k is pi, so the interval is going to be from 0 to 2. But that's if it was not shifted, but it has been shifted. And it's shifted because of right here, this 1/3. Since it's minus b and minus a third, b is just a positive third. So that means I'm going to add 1/3 to both of these to shift the interval. So when I do that, I'm going to end up with 1/3 and 7/3 as my interval that I'm graphing, including the fact that these are also my vertical asymptotes. 1/3 and 7/3. But I also have another asymptote in between here, the one directly in the middle between 1/3 and 7/3, which will be x equals 4/3. So this is my third asymptote. And now I can graph my equation. Now it's going to be a little bit odd because I'm graphing numbers instead of using pi, but again, treat it just the same. So first thing I'm going to do is graph 1/3, the asymptote. Then the other one at 4/3. Right here. And then lastly, 7/3. And I now look back at my A value, which is a 2. So it means this graph goes as low as 2 and will go as high as -2. So again, this is cosecant, no reflection. So this one here, since it's shifted, normally it'd be over here, but it's been shifted just a little bit over to here. And so I know that the value on the x-axis in between here is going to be 5, 6, and this is going to go as low as 2. Like so. And then right here, I know it's going to be right in between 4/3 and 7/3. So right here, and this is going to be 11, oh, that's a pi. Try that again. 11, 6 right here. And it's going to go as high as -2. And then just draw the curve for this graph. And there we have the curve, the graph for this cosecant function.